This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
But I think we can go ahead and start. And since I know Karen's coming, we'll just say hi to her when she pops on the screen. Great. So I'm gonna start. 7:10 was my thing. Hi everybody. This is so exciting. It's really good to see everybody. And it was so exciting to meet everyone who came to the opening workday. So the way the community garden meetings run is it's done sort of similar to city council meetings a little bit, just that we do have an agenda and we are a subcommittee of the sustainability committee, which just means that the city likes to keep all of our information public. So everything that happens in the meetings, everyone can access. And if you'll look at the agenda, there's also a public comment period after I finish talking. And that's usually for people who aren't garden members to say things that they want to say. And maybe put that on the agenda or have it, be something we discuss. So we'll do that in just a second. The other thing is we use Robert's rules to make decisions. You'll hear me say, calling for motions, and everyone in favor say aye. And that's just to make sure we're all on the same page when it comes to important stuff like financial things, or making sure that we all know the date of the meeting, the next meeting, etc. And yeah, before we get going, I just want to, I forgot to email about this, but there are some seed potatoes that somebody left in the shed, and we don't know who left them there, but you're welcome to plant them. And I'm going to say, if they're not planted by the week following today, we'll just put them in the compost so they don't turn to mush. I'll send, I think Margie, if you can add that to the email you send, just to make sure those seed potatoes are used. And Deb is not coming today, but just make sure you're following her email. And I added the link to the email I sent about your community volunteer hours, and make sure you're doing that. And if there's any questions, definitely email her or ask one of us. Or if you have a question right now, you can use that little raise your hand function too, and I'll call on you and can answer the question right now. And Deb also said that the community center, I think, is looking for more donations. So make sure and donate to the community center. We have Linnea's in charge of the donation garden, which does work with them. But before that gets going, please keep them in mind. There's also a fundraiser through Comics and More this Saturday for the community center as well. Awesome. So that's my random things to say. And before we move on to the main agenda, Stephen, I'm trying to remember, do you just have everyone introduce themselves here at the beginning, or did you incorporate that?
Well, when we have a one time a year general meeting, it's for everyone to have a chance to introduce themselves, and we do a little pop quiz to see when people introduce themselves that they can also name their plot by number.
And I'm going to help with that because I have the plot map in front of me, so I might go by the order of the plot map versus who's on screen, since they don't have well, actually everyone's got a name on here now, so maybe I will do it based on who's on my screen. So we'll start by, I'll call on you. You can say your name again. And let's see, actually, how do I get a list of everyone on screen? There we go. I'll call on you, and then just say your name and your plot number, and if there's any one sentence comment, you can definitely do that too. All right, so the 413 phone number. So we'll start with Christine.
Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm Christine, and I'm here with Liam. And yes, I know what our plot numbers are: C4 and D4. Colin is away, and Rachel is in class. They're C11 and D11. So we're representing.
Awesome. Thanks for coming. Okay, cool. And Anne, next.
Ann Robbins, and my plot is, I think, B1. I was just new last fall, but I think I'm right.
You are. And we should have prizes for if you can remember your plot number. I'll do that. But Anne, everyone loves your tulips. It's really the talk of the town, I feel like. So.
Oh, that's good. They cheer me up.
Yeah, they're amazing. All right. Next we have Aya. Would you like to introduce yourself and your plot number?
That's funny.
You're
Yes.
on mute also.
Hello.
Now you're unmuted.
Oh. Okay.
Oh no. Aya, your video's frozen.
It's glitchy. But let's see. Yeah. Okay, but can you hear me?
Kind of.
Okay. Well, I'm plot A9 and A8. And A8 is Amy, my sibling.
Nice. Fantastic. And now that your video's off, I can hear you really well. It's a bummer. We can't see your beautiful face. But thanks for saying hi. And thanks for showing us your beautiful face. Okay, great. Next, Caitlin. Caitlin Carmi.
Hi, everybody. I'm Caitlin. Max and I are in, I think, it's B7.
Great.
This is our second year.
Awesome. And Max, do you want to say hi too?
Sure. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Max. And
Hi. Fabulous. And Eric?
Hello, Eric. I'm in D6. It's the plot that this year, like last year, is all doing raised fabric beds, 2 wooden raised beds, trying to rebuild the plot so that it's not as sunk as it used to be.
Fabulous. And I'm sure Eric's also got great tips if anyone else is trying to do a bunch of raised beds and stuff. All right, so next we've got Finn, who's new this year.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Yeah, my name is Finn. I completely do not know my plot number. I'm in the furthest southwest corner of the garden, whatever that would be.
It's D12.
D12. All right, that's me.
D12, not the vitamin. Yeah. Well, nice to have you in the garden. All right, Frank.
I'm Frank Johnson, and I am in C8. And I've been there since the very beginning. So I think I'm the last one who has originals. And we're going on, 11 years now. And then my wife is in D8, right below mine, and that's Jasara.
Nice. Awesome. Oh, and I guess I should have said, if you're a committee member, you can say that too. And Frank, you are.
I'm in charge of operations. Well, and Mark and I are doing it together.
Yeah. And Eric is our publicity aficionado. Is that what you would say?
I'm the guy with the Facebook keys.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, great. And next we've got John Doyle.
Hi, I'm John. I'm in A10, I believe. I don't really remember. It's the one with all the really tall weeds. It's currently mine.
I think that's right, but you're going to do great work. It's going to be fabulous. All right, and now Jonathan Adams. Maybe? Great. Oh, now you're unmuted.
I am John.
I'm Caitlin.
We're having trouble staying connected, but we're here right now. We're in B5, first year.
Awesome. And so nice to meet you guys the other day. It's going to be a great year. And no worries if you get disconnected. Just it's recorded and we'll send an email after. So you'll stay in the loop. But thanks for saying hi. Next, Linnea.
Hi, I'm Linnea. I think I'm in A7, and I am heading up the donation garden. Happy to do so. This is my second year at the garden.
Oh yeah, and definitely I forgot to say, you should say how long you've been at the garden. That's so, yeah. Important.
Yeah.
Thanks, Leah. Margie? Margie, you're still muted, I think. There we go.
Hi, I'm Margie. I'm the one who sends you all the emails. I'm a committee member. I'm in D5. Email me if you have any questions or if you have feedback about anything at all. I'm about soon to send out another updated contact list and map because things keep changing, especially at the beginning. And my son Noah now has a plot C7, but he probably won't ever make it to meetings. Okay,
great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, got an echo. How do I get rid of that? Anyways, okay. Next is Mark.
Oh, it's me. I'm Mark Leonis, and I'm in plot C5. And I'm on the committee, and as Frank mentioned, I'm working with him on the operations, specifically hoses and nozzles. Everybody should have, I say a quick thing. Everybody should have a hose. If you don't, or if it doesn't work, let me know, and we'll get you a replacement. Frank and I will take care of that.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
All.
And maybe Margie, if you want, we can add that to the email as well.
What is that again?
Just that if you're the hose or sprayer nozzle next to your plot isn't working or is defective, let the operations folks know so they can replace it. Don't be shy. We want everyone to have access to functioning equipment. Okay, great. And I've just realized there's another Mark, so sorry if that's confusing. Mark Stein.
Hi, I'm Mark Stein, and I'll be gardening with Andre LeBlanc, who is busy tonight. And it's my first year, and I think I'm in B10.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
No, you're in B10. You said B, right, Mark? Not
B as in boy, yeah.
Yeah, you're in B10.
Okay.
Fabulous. Well, welcome you guys. And we already talked to Max. So next, Nora.
Hi there. I'm Nora Doubleday, and I'm in C12. This is going to be my first year at the garden.
Great. So excited, Nora. You seem to have a whole handle on everything already.
Yeah. We're going to till just as soon as it dries out a little.
That's wise. Yeah. Don't compact the soil too much.
So wet.
It is so wet.
Yeah.
It is. I'm sorry that everyone had to learn that. It's a wet garden in the spring. All right, Shireen.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Shireen. I am in plot D7, I believe, between Eric and Gisara and Mark. No, Frank. And this is my second year in the garden.
Yay. Awesome. And then Stephen?
Yes, hi, I'm Stephen Lifke, and I'm in B as in baby 11. And this is either my 6th or 7th year. They begin to blur after a period of time, so I should figure out, I should do it by Frank minus, I don't know, 4 or something like that.
F minus 4.
Frank is the common denominator.
No, I don't want to be a common denominator.
I serve as
the radical.
I serve as the clerk.
Awesome. Thanks, Stephen. And lastly, I think it still says unknown, but it's Norm, right? Or Norman, right?
That's correct, Norman. I don't know my number, but I share a plot with Ted Stock. I'm across from Frank, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in B8.
B is in boy.
B is in boy.
Okay, that's me, Norman Boy.
welcome. And
I had
I'm
fun
realizing
that day, helping out with the pollinator garden.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was fun.
And I'm realizing Ted and Karen still aren't here, but Ted is our finance committee chair, and Karen does the pollinator garden. So hopefully they'll pop in here at the end, and maybe I'll move their updates to the end since they're not here. Did I miss anybody on the call? Nobody's been missed. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. This is so nice. I definitely hope to see everyone around. I'm pondering maybe, planning another gathering of some kind in late summer, and hopefully we can update each other on how our planting seasons went. But let's get on with the agenda. So just going to check in again if there's anybody not from the garden who wants to do public comment in this public comment period. Not seeing any non-gardeners on the call. Fabulous.
Sarah,
Yes.
you may want to tell folks what plot you are in.
Oh yeah.
And you're,
Thank you. Yeah, I am. I'm C3.
Not just checking.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't get out of it. This is the first year I feel like I know, but I am C3, and my housemate who can't attend tonight just got a plot in D3, and both their names are Sarah. So got our little Sarah portion of the garden, and I think I've had a plot for 5 years. I'm not sure. Some amount of time. And yeah, so that's me. And this is my first year being chair. So it's been super fun so far. Great. So first we're gonna, if you in the email I sent the meeting minutes for the last April meeting, and we're just gonna make sure those are okay with everyone. So I'm gonna propose a motion to certify those minutes. Does anyone second the motion?
Yep, sure.
Fabulous. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Hi, thanks guys. Fabulous. And usually we do the treasurer's report, but Ted's not here yet, so I'll move that to the end. And if not, we can kind of collectively look at that and make sure it's all up on the up and up. Operations. Oh yeah, Stephen.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add one thing. If you happen to have missed a meeting, but you really want to know what had happened, and apart from just looking at the minutes, at the top of the minutes, there's a link to the actual recording of the meeting, so that you can access it, and it'll be in every minute. So I just wanted to mention that for future.
And if you participated, you can hear your voice and cringe.
Not you, Frank.
Yeah, me.
I love listening to myself talk. So yeah, no, it's no big.
You do it so well.
Yeah. All right, operations.
Okay, so operations. Well, there hasn't been a whole lot going on because it's been raining, and if your plot gets wet, you know that it gets wet. I think we're supposed to have cloudy day tomorrow, and then I think we're going to start clearing out on Saturday and warming up. I would highly recommend, because I need to get in my own plot and work on stuff. But if you have any even little weeds growing, because I think we're supposed to start getting sun and be in the 70s, everything's going to kind of blast off with all this moisture. So it's good to stay on top of stuff. And yeah, as mentioned earlier, I would not till anything right now. Just kind of leave it alone and be gentle with very wet soil, because you'll just have clods later on and you'll have to break them all up again. And I will mention too, because we brought this up earlier, the ticks are bad this year already, and this is spring, so we're going to start with dog ticks, then we're going to get into the deer ticks, and they're out there too. Then later in the summer, the deer ticks will kind of fade, and we'll mostly have the bigger dog ticks. But the grass is high. There's a lot of deer around there, and other rodents and stuff, rabbits. So just be aware, creepy crawly things. I haven't been able to mow. I wanted to try and get a mow in, and I haven't taken the lawnmower up to get it serviced yet, just because I wanted to get a good mow in before I did that. In case it took longer than it usually does. Mark and I have not, I've been really busy with work. It's the end of the semester up at the community college. So Mark and I have not been able to go out on a hose buying date yet, but Mark, we'll get in touch and try and do that this coming week, maybe.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Let's see, list was what the weekend that we opened the garden, I went around and I did email folks, but I put little white flags where I found thistle coming up. If you had a white flag, you want to take care of the thistle, and I'm probably going to have to do a thistle inspection. I'll probably do it every couple of weeks, especially if we keep getting a lot of moisture. You want to get them when they're really small, and the roots go down pretty deep. So if they're really young, you can probably dig it out and get all the root. But they got all the way up to the plots like 6, and we really want to try and keep them from spreading any further. If they go to seed, and there's some out in the for the new folks, the part below our gardens is all conservation area. We can do anything we want with the land up to where those bird houses are. After that, it's conservation area, and there is some thistle back in there. So we have to always check all the plots, because the goldfinches will eat those thistle if they go to seed. And then, they like to hang out in our garden. And of course, when they hang out, they do other things from the other end of their beautiful throats. And so they deposit seeds all over the place. So we have to kind of stay vigilant about this stuff, because it's a beast. And Margie, I'll email you. I know we have some images, but I'm going to dig up some good images of this young thistle to send out to everybody, so they just have an idea what it looks like.
And if you get overwhelmed at all at any point in the season, like Frank does do weed checks and things like that, but if you start to feel overwhelmed that you can't keep up with things, definitely reach out to the committee or myself, and we'll help you manage it, because it's a lot better to stay on top of it than to let your plot go to waste just because you're feeling like self-conscious about asking for aid or something like that.
I think I have a thistle question.
Mark?
If you pick your thistle, obviously we need to get it out of the garden totally Any suggestions on where to deposit it elsewhere?
Take it home. Take it home and throw it in the garbage.
In the garbage. Okay.
Yeah, carry it out. Yeah, if you pick any thistle, don't put it in the compost.
No.
Yeah, if it's got root, if there's any root on it, it'll start growing, and that's why if you tilled a plot that had a bunch of thistle, well, you'll have a thistle farm, because all of those rhizomes will start growing. So that's why it's important to kind of get it out. And Sarah had looked some stuff up, and I'm still doing, again, I once I get through this next week of finals, then I'll have a lot more time. But there's some research we want to do too, because I think name
Deb?
No. Sharing the plot with Ted.
Norman.
Yeah, you have unknown under you. So
yeah, it's just unknown.
I don't know how to fix
call you
that.
Mr. Unknown. No, Norman had shared some links to a type of bacteria that actually kills the thistle. So, and that's something I really want to look into and experiment with. We're gonna have to do everything. There's snipping it versus digging it up and breaking it off, and then we're trying to suppress it. So it's just, and again, Norman, you came from Hatfield, right? And you had a problem with it up there.
No. I did not come from Hatfield.
No, where was it?
This is my first year. I came from Springfield. I had my own garden.
Oh no, then you're not who talked to me. Okay, then
I talked to you, Frank.
Okay, so
Mark Stein.
Mark, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a huge problem in Hatfield, and some of those plots were tilled, and it does turn into a thistle farm, and it's a plant that definitely wants to stay around after, the nuclear holocaust. I mean, there's like nothing that'll. I've cut them down and cut them down and cut them down, and like a lot of other weeds, they'll start to go to seed even if they're just a few inches tall, but mature, if that makes any sense. And
it does, because they'll reproduce by hook or crook. So
yeah, so some of the plots that we had were also put under black plastic and then had some wood chips put on top. I'm not thinking that was going to do a lot personally.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my opinion. I thought clear plastic would have been a better choice.
Yeah, it lets more sun in. It heats up quicker.
It does, but then it heats up the soil more and kills a lot more stuff. And farmers use black plastic as mulch all the time, and they plant tomatoes and eggplants and other warm temperature crops, and it doesn't destroy their roots. It helps their root systems. So.
But yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, we're just gonna have to learn to live with it, but reduce it, minimize it as much as we can.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really hard to get rid of it.
But I appreciate all the new ideas, Mark. I feel like we can run a bunch of different experiments. But just because there's some people with questions. Margie, I saw you had a question. But I'm gonna have Jonathan go first. And yeah, if you want to use that raise your hand button, that helps me make sure I see you, because not everyone's video is on the screen.
Sorry, it's actually Caitlin impersonating Jonathan. We're having connection issues, so we're just doing this off the cell phone. We're not home. My apologies. I only caught a little bit of what you said earlier, Frank. Did you say that you emailed people directly if their plot did get a white flag put on it?
Yeah.
Okay, because
I thought I got everybody.
Okay, all right. I'm going to sleep a little easier. Thank you.
Well, you would have seen the white flag too.
I haven't been home since, so we actually haven't been able to take a look. Thank you.
So that was Caitlin bragging about not having any thistle. Awesome. Margie, did you have a question?
I don't have a question, but I would like to add something. In the past years, this is going crazy. I keep getting weird things on the screen. In past years, if you help another gardener, we have granted community service time for that help. So and also I'm going to send out an updated contact list so you'll have everyone's email. So, well, I don't know how feasible it is to email everyone on the list because it's not just like a listserv or whatever you call it, but you can let me know if you need help, and I can put out a message to everyone with the reminder that they can get community service time for helping. And then you can have direct contact with whoever volunteers to help. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, and we've done that. I'm sorry, I just realized we did that with why is there an echo? That's so annoying. Sorry everyone if that's strange. Okay. Anyways, we've done that with people going on vacation and stuff and sent out if anyone needs to water your garden for you. It's a community, so don't hesitate to reach out. Awesome. Mark, did you have anything to add for operations?
I could throw in I could throw in a quick remark just about compost, just to remind people if you haven't gotten your compost that you ordered and paid for, yourself. There's still a big sack there, and if you didn't order it, please don't take any because we fully subscribe to the 10 yards that we purchased, so it's there.
Great, thanks so much, guys.
Also, if you're short on tools, I know there's a lot of tools in the shed, but I've noticed more recently, and Frank and I haven't had a chance to do an assessment, but there's like two rakes. I don't know, maybe we might end up needing to purchase some more items. So let us know if you can't find what you're looking for to help with tools. That's all.
Thanks. So next is the outreach report from Margie.
Well, there's not much to report. We're full. And I was just trying to find the waiting list, but I got kicked off when I tried to go there. But I think we maybe have 3 people on the waiting list now. And yeah, we just added someone when Bruce and Kathy, I think her name is, when Bruce and Kathy needed to give up their plot. So we're pretty full, and there's not much more to say at this time. But just feel free to email me if you have any questions. You'll have my email address when I send out tonight's. It's not officially minutes, it's just something I started doing. I just send out some notes of important points during the meeting. So everyone will have my address if you need to say something.
Spectacular. Thanks, Margie.
Sorry?
So on top of it, much better emailing than I am, but Margie's awesome.
You're pretty good.
That's good. All right, next, the donation garden.
Hi. Yeah, I put in, I think it's looking pretty good. I still need some sheet mulching in some areas, or if anyone wants to volunteer or email me about weeding. So far I've planted some microgreens, a mild mesclun mix, and sweet pea shoots, and some garlic, and red, purple, and white potatoes. And yeah, I'm just waiting to plant a little bit more. I have some starts and stuff at home, and I'm open to if anyone has extra starts. that would be great.
Great.
That's about it. Yeah.
Heck yeah. And I forgot, I should have put it on the agenda. But in the old and continuing business, I'm going to hopefully talk about if you're new and confused about the committee, your volunteer hours in the different committees, I'll try to talk about that. Because it's come up now, I just realized in some of these other reports. But great. I just thank you so much, Linnea, for all your work and positive vibes. I just got an email. Karen's having trouble getting into the meeting for some reason. So I'm just going to read really quick her updates for the pollinator garden. Ted and her built one raised bed on Friday, and Ted and Norman built 2 on the opening day. And they're all settled into the pollinator plot. I think looks like maybe Leah helped. The lovely squaring corner pieces Ted added to the beds made them very square and sturdy, but showed how dug out the garden bed was. We propped up the edges with sod. We will use cardboard, wood chips, and compost to fill them in. With time and multiple applications, the beds should even out. Perhaps we need to send out a summary of the importance of what good soil is composed of and how to not send good topsoil and nutrients contained in non-invasive weeds over to the compost piles where they're not helpful for our plants. And Karen says that she'd be happy to write up some information about healthy soil habits. I think that sounds like a great idea. Especially with all the new folks and with how clayey our soil is and with how rainy it is. Definitely a lot to learn there, and rather than like have a huge learning curve. Sounds like Karen can give you some tips. And if you have any direct questions, yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us about it. I say it a lot, but I feel like we all have a lot of expertise and a lot of opinions. So, and I think we all really like to share them. So definitely don't hesitate to ask. Awesome. So that's the pollinator updates. And so since Ted's still not here, I guess I'll pull up the treasurer's report. Let's see. Oh, someone else. See, hello? Did they come in to the meeting? No?
Be cool if it was Ted.
I know, it would be pretty amazing. Whoever just joined, you're on mute. If you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself, you can. All right. It might be somebody struggling to get. It might be Karen.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Who is it?
This is Karen.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Great. I just read your email.
So I don't understand why when I click that link, I get taken only to a window that starts to set me up in this thing called Duo.
That's so weird. Yeah, I have no idea. But
okay, I'm the only one.
Karen, did you see the email I just sent you?
No, I'm talking on the phone, and then I would have to go back into email. So what does it say?
It gives you, if you go onto the agenda, the link that you can get into is right on the agenda. Just click on it.
No, I've clicked on it like many times.
On the agenda?
Many times. Yes, and it just takes me to this window that tries to set me up.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry that happened, Karen, but I'm glad you made it. And I just read your updates aloud.
Okay.
And I said what you mentioned at the end about maybe sending a little bit of information about how to care for your soil. I think that would be super awesome if you could do that. That's such a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just because I see these big clumps that are gone from the garden, And I'm pretty sure people just pulled up the weeds, soil and all, and there must be a lot of topsoil sitting over in the compost pile, but that's not doing us any good in the plots. So I think there's I can talk about the ways of handling the weeds where we put less in the compost. Ideally, we should have little in the compost pile because everything that's coming up is nutrients out of our soil, and it should stay in our soil and stay in our plot.
So true. And Linnea brought this up the workday, but a lot of weeds bring up nutrients from the soil. So they can be your friends too, unless they're thistle, which is not our friend, but other weeds definitely can have good relationships with. But yeah, weeding right now too, when it's wet, you often pick up a lot of soil. So just be careful to put it back in. And I'm excited to read more of what you have knowledge about.
Okay.
So awesome. Thank you. I'm just gonna, so Ted's still not here. So I'm just gonna open the financial report. And it looks like a lot of math that I don't, fully understand, but the bigger updates that I guess should let y'all know is I'm in charge of the keys now. So I have all that petty cash. Stephen and I combined our petty cash. It seems like all of the purchasing for the wood, for the raised beds was taken care of via Ted getting reimbursed and using his card. I'm trying to see if there's any outstanding people who need to pay for their plot, but I'm not seeing that either. I guess I'm going to propose a motion to confirm the financial report. Is anyone comfortable seconding my motion?
Sarah, since we need to adopt it,
Oh yeah.
Can we just put it up on the screen or not?
Yeah.
Oh sure. Let me see if I can do that. I mean, I know I can do that. Let me see if I personally can figure this out. Let's see.
If we can't do it, we can put it off till the next meeting. We don't have to.
Oh, that's true too. That's true too.
Yeah. And then maybe Ted can make it for that.
I do know that I can
Okay. Well,
share
maybe
my
we
screen.
should just,
Well, yeah, let's just save it for the next one in case Ted has anything he wants to add to.
yeah, that's a good idea, Mark.
Cool. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Okay, great. So I'm just going to write that down and make sure we include that we need to adopt both financial reports. Okay, awesome. And if anyone is curious about looking at it, it's in that email. It's attached to the last email I sent, and I'll attach it to the next meeting announcement email as well. And I'll learn how to share my screen by next meeting. Great. And so I'm going to talk about, gardener feedback. Anybody want to add, have anything they want to talk about, things they want to say, things they'd like added to a future agenda or maybe we talk about today? This is a good time.
I saw somebody had a raised hand and a suggestion about some sort of garden flamethrower. So.
Oh my God.
I had a raised hand.
Oh, I see
Karen
it.
was talking about.
Well, not Eric.
It's a real thing. They sell them.
They do.
What?
Yeah, they're called Dragon or something like that.
Okay.
But it's a good way to burn down the weeds without losing the amount of soil that's underneath it in the roots.
Oh.
But I don't know if I don't know if I'd trust myself with such a thing.
I can just see it now. Community garden sets field on fire in Easthampton.
Yeah.
As if we need another headline.
Oh my God.
What is it?
It's a flamethrower.
You
What
can
is
hook it
that?
up to a propane tank. They work. They're awesome, but
Take care of that thistle.
I mean, it's a tempting thing because natural burning is such a way of controlling different plants, but
fun
we'd have
thing
to make sure it
do.
was not a drought. Yeah.
Hey, I was going to follow up too on Karen, what she had said earlier about, pulling weeds. This is another thing too with the wet soil, because I talked about pulling weeds, but if you're going to pull really big ones, it's going to bring a lot of dirt with it. In the shed, there are those little hand tools that are like the claws with the 3 or 4 tines. If you just take one of those when you're weeding, and once you're pulling the weed up, and you can even loosen the soil around the weed before you pull it if it's big. And there's other ones that are like full tools with a long handle and everything too. But even when I pull the weeds, I'll hit the bottom where the roots are with the little hand claw just to work all the soil out, because it is true, man. I've seen people just throw weeds in a plot. They probably lost I don't know how much dirt from their garden because they just pull it up and don't knock the dirt off. So, but as wet as it is right now, and I just checked the radar before the meeting, it's going to rain some more tonight. This big giant swirling thing that won't leave us alone. So, but yeah, those little tools are awesome, and you really want to try and get all the dirt off if you can, because it's true. There's a lot of nutrients there.
Great. Thanks, Frank. Anybody else have anything they want to share? Cool. Well, the old and continuing business is so everyone put on their form what committee they were interested in volunteering with. And Deb took a lot of time going through all those and letting us know who signed up for each committee. And lots of people signed up for different things. Definitely feel free to try different things out to see where you end up wanting to put most of your energy. But hopefully the different people in charge of those different service hours, if they have work days like myself with the raised beds at the front, I'll email those people who express interest in working on it, but when I'm going to have a work day. Or if you do work on any of those projects, maybe let that committee member know, so that way they know somebody did, some weeding or planted some things or whatnot. I think on there we still had a path maintenance committee, but we also included in the application that you should maintain and weed your paths as part of your plot. So it takes some pressure off of the path maintenance folks, and definitely keeps the thistle and weeds at bay, if you can keep that in mind when you're tending to your own plot. And then if you have questions with recording your hours, just definitely reach out to Deb. And everyone, seems like a lot of people have already recorded hours and such, so that's fantastic. Eric, you raised your hand.
Yep, because I'm on the pathway committee. If everybody for their own maintenance could, just do your best to make things that don't overgrow, get rid of some of the grass if you can. You don't have to do a big pile of wood chips unless you want to, but hopefully at some point of the year throughout the summer, I'm going to go and hit everyone at least once, where you lay down some cardboard or some constructor paper, do a big thing of wood chips, and that seems to last about a year. But it may not all happen up front. But it's definitely a lot more helpful if I don't have to dig out big plants in the process.
Fabulous. And I'm realizing too, I might look into maybe buying or making some kind of markers for folks to mark the ends of their plots, because there was a lot of remeasuring that was done on the opening work day, and then that'll help with where the paths are. because some gardens have expanded into their paths and there are no paths anymore in between certain plots. So we might need to focus on that in some future meetings about how to, like, if that becomes an issue. All right, awesome. Yeah, Margie.
I was just thinking maybe it would be a good idea for people to put a sign up of what their plot number is, because that happens in other gardens, and it's real simple. Like what I've done in my other garden is take an aluminum pie tin and then on a stick put some holes in it, and with marker put my plot number on and just stick it in the plot somewhere. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, and the aluminum pie tin is now on its 3rd year without any adjustments. So
I had also had this idea the other day that we could have a sign making day. We could decorate them and stuff, and but also as a really like kind of independent, not always that social person, definitely you can always make your own sign, but it might be cute. I might make a little, gathering of it if folks would be interested in that as well. And I'll bring a million pie tins and whatnot.
I have to too.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. But yeah, I think it would be cute if we labeled our plots, because it also helps who everyone is. So that might be a good goal. Great. Any other questions or about that stuff?
Yes, could I ask something? This is Karen. I may have missed it in the meeting, but I'm still looking for cardboard, and if somebody comes across some they want to donate, if they could put it in the shed and mark it as available to use, that would be really helpful.
Awesome.
Did you
I can
check
definitely do that.
Did you check the dumpster at the community center?
I did. I went there early one morning and it was locked. The cardboard dumpster was locked.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah, with a big padlock.
Hi, this is Christine. I don't know how to jump in. With cardboard, the community center, you should go by when somebody's there and ask them. And it's also helpful if you break boxes down. Also, another good place is Family Dollar. They have a big cardboard dumpster behind the store. You need to ask a manager or one of the clerks. They'll be thrilled for you to take some. You do need to go, not on the day that the dumpster gets picked up. Another alternative is to go to your favorite restaurant. They've got tons of it in the back, and they'd be glad to get rid of it. The food boxes do not, as a matter of course, have staples on them and very little tape, because we really shouldn't have tape in the garden. And also the food boxes are thicker than usual. My favorite are banana boxes. So there are a lot of options. There are a lot of options, and we don't get the cardboard up there ourselves because we're always on a bike. So that's something to think about.
Awesome. Thank you, Christine. But yeah, and I definitely have access to cardboard as well. And I know when we were moving, we called the co-op to save us boxes, and they seemed really excited as well. So
yeah, co-op
boxes everywhere. But they are kind of annoying to gather yourself. So it definitely helps if you can bring some and just put it in the shed. That's fabulous. Great. All right. Anything else? Great. Thanks, guys. So the next meeting is at 7 on June 1st, it looks like. Is that correct? I think. Yeah, June 1st.
June 1st is correct.
And a motion to adopt that or confirm that as our next meeting. And second it.
Second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Fabulous. Thanks, guys. So that's when our next meeting is. You'll get a few emails about it. And Margie will send an email about tonight's conversation. And this is super great. This is a really fast meeting, which is so cool. Definitely really appreciate everyone coming. And if you have anything that we didn't talk about that you realize later, we can add it to the agenda for next meeting too. Yeah, Stephen.
Two things. Moe's just joined, so maybe she can say hello. And also, at the end of that, we'll need to move for adjournment before we adjourn.
Yeah. Okay, great. Maui, do you want to say hi and tell us your plot number and how long you've been in the garden?
Sure, yeah. So hey y'all, I'm Maui. I'm in B9 and this is my 3rd year at the garden.
Great. Thanks for coming. I told you the meeting would run an hour and a half and it finished in an hour, which is insane. I feel like it's never gone this fast.
It's a record.
It is a record. It is a record.
Good leadership.
But I don't want to close down conversations. So we'll definitely make sure no one hesitate if they want to open up a debate in future meetings, I guess. Great. All right, awesome. So without further ado, a motion to end the meeting. Does anyone second that?
So, second.
Thanks, Mark. All in favor, say aye.
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 Great. Well, this was lovely, guys. I'm excited to see you soon out there.
You bet. See you in the garden.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.